Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number, I don't know, but I will put it in the box when I upload it, and it is May 16th, I think, 17th? May 16th? I think it's the 16th. We're gonna go with the 16th. If it's the 17th, it'll just be a surprise to me later on. So that is kind of what this whole Flosstube is gonna be, a bunch of me rambling, not quite getting everything correct. I have stuff everywhere and I have a lot to share. So I'm kind of out of order today, bear with me, but I have a lot to share. I have a lot of stitching and I have some finishing, and so I want to share all that with you. And I had a quiet morning to film a Flosstube. So I'm going to start right in. I hope everybody has had a good last couple of weeks. We have been busy. We had Mother's Day, which was always nice. I got a card from my oldest that said, "Thank you for my pee-pee." I said, well, technically that's your father's DNA. So you can save that sentiment and put it on his card in a month. So he's a very strange child. But anyhow, it's random. So we had that. I went out of town with my husband to go pick up some equipment. We went to Maryland and picked up 2 generators. And then we went from Maryland to Ohio to pick up a magnet and a generator. And then we came back to North Carolina. So it was a quick trip, but it's always nice to go with my husband because I know he really likes the company for me to go. We were able to get into Ohio at like a decent time. So we were able to park the truck and we were able to, our hotel was like in a shopping center. So we were able to walk to Outback and have a nice dinner. So that was really nice. When we go on these trips, we are in a big tractor trailer, a big Western Star, big over-the-road truck. So we have a large truck and a trailer behind us. And so we can't get in everywhere. We can't go everywhere. So even though we were in Ohio, I really wanted to go back and visit Tiffin, Ohio, which is where I was born. We were 2 hours away, but it was 2 hours in the other direction. And honestly, I told him, because my husband totally would have drove it. He doesn't care. But I told him, I said, I really want to go where I can go see my old house. I was born there. We lived there till I was 7. And I was like, I want to go see all of these things that I remember as a kid and see how they look different and stuff. And I can't do that in a big truck. So I told him, I said, one time we're going to be up here in a car and I'll be able to go. But it just doesn't work out. I also wanted to go to the cross-stitch store in Sandusky, which I'm pretty sure is the same cross-stitch store that my mother used to go to. My mom doesn't remember, but I think she just forgets. But I remember we went to a cross-stitch store in Sandusky. So I would love to visit there one day. I cannot remember the name of it on the top of my head. But anyhow, I would love to go there. So, yeah, we'll work all that out eventually someday. So we've been busy. I've been trying to get back. I wasn't at work on Friday, which is normally when I do a lot of the work. So I tried to get caught up. I went this past Wednesday. We were having Wi-Fi issues, so I wasn't able to print stuff because everything's networked in now. So then I thought, that's Friday. That's fine. I'm gonna come back on Friday and I'll be able to print then. Hopefully it resolved. I put it on the other Wi-Fi so I could print. I was probably an hour away from being done with my paperwork, and my youngest came up and he had some metal in his arm. So I had to take him to the ER. Not a huge deal. It was in his skin about 1 inch, and they numbed it up. They took x-rays to make sure so they could see exactly where it was at, make sure it didn't have my husband was worried it had a barb on the end of it. It did not. It was super sharp, which is why it went into his arm. It was not bleeding, so that was comforting, but not comforting, because then you're thinking, well, it's bleeding internally, and it is, but he said he'll have a bruise that will reabsorb, all of that. So they took the piece of metal out, they numbed it up, took it out, cleaned it, flushed it really good, more than I could have done. He needed a tetanus shot. He also has to take antibiotics. So through all of that, the hardest thing for my 15-year-old is to swallow these antibiotics pills. He didn't flinch when they numbed it up. He didn't flinch. Like he wasn't crying. He wasn't screaming, nothing. Like he comes up and he's like, I have a piece of metal in my arm. And never once did he freak out. He can't swallow the antibiotic pill. Yeah. I'm like, do you want me to rub your throat like a dog? And he's like, stop. And I'm like, but what are you doing right now? Just swallow it. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. Okay. I'm going to show you two finishes that I have, and I'm going to have to get up to get them. But I went to go pick them up from Stitch and Frame. As you all know, Stitch and Frame in Rock Hill, South Carolina is closing. I think actually this is its last week. I was able to get 2 pieces of mine in and 1 piece of my sister's in for framing. So last framing that I did have a viewer reach out to me, and thank you so much, there's a framer that does good needlework up in Elkin. So I have saved that information, and that may be somebody that I reach out to do more needlework framing. I might have to just collect a couple pieces. Elkin is about 2 hours from me. I would totally drive it, and if they're good with needlework. So I probably won't go every single piece. I'll save up a couple of them and take several up there. So thank you so much for letting me know that. All right, let me show you my first piece. I have them over to the side so they don't get broke, because gosh, I don't want them to get broke. So my first piece that I have is from Silver Creek Samplers, and what is the name of this? Through the Storms. Through the Storms. Here's the chart, Through the Storms. And I'm going to stick this down in a giveaway. So I have another giveaway. I will stick it in my giveaway because I'm done with the chart. So if somebody else would like to stitch it, I'm going to put it in my giveaway pile, and I'll do that in just a minute. All right, so here is my finish. So I don't have my card up here. I think this is a 28 count. It was from Stony Creek is where I bought it, from Stony Creek. What is their name? Stony Creek Stitchery? I don't think that's right. But they have an online store and they sell fabric. And this is the rainbow linen that I bought. They have 2 different ways that the rainbow goes. So you can get it horizontally or vertically. And I don't know that it mattered because you could turn your piece unless you needed the sizing the right way, if that makes sense. So pay attention to that if you order any of it. But I really love it. I think I used all called for colors. I've showed this finish before. This is my husband's initials, my maiden initials, our wedding date. And I did put 2002 here. It doesn't show up good on camera. I can kind of see it in person, so I'm okay with that. And then my married initials are up here. So that is my finish. I love this. And if you don't read it, it says, no relationship is all sunshine, but 2 people can share one umbrella and walk through the storms together. So I really love that because I truly, truly believe that. So let me show you a close-up of the frame. Let it focus. It's kind of a worn frame. I love framing like that. I like the beadwork in here, but this is all one piece. I don't use mats on most of my framing. I don't want to say none. I don't know if you guys watched Helen D. She had a framing of her, is it Chronos Through the Time or something piece? I don't know. I don't watch that video or play that video game or anything, but I'm trying to reach and I can't reach it. Hold on. She framed a piece and put some matting on it. And I so often don't mat stuff, but let me tell you, it was perfect. Perfect matting. So that was gorgeous. Okay, the next piece I'm going to show is from Heartstring Samplery. It is the Sunday Stitches Amazing Grace. So this is what the pattern looked like. I did not stitch it like this. I stitched this in memory of my dad, who that was his favorite verse. So my dad died when I was 3 months pregnant with my first child in 99. And he loved Amazing Grace. It was played at his funeral. That was one thing that we knew he would love. So when I saw this hem, I really, really wanted to stitch this, and I did. So this is my piece. I did it all in red. I think this is Red Tulip from Belle Soie. It's a silk. I stitched it on, I think this is 14 count Murky. And I've said it before, Murky is a funky color fabric because when you first see it, you're like, oh, I don't know. But when you see it finished and framed, it just gives a great antique look to it. And that's exactly what I wanted. So I paid a little bit more for this frame. This is a very chunky frame. When she brought it out, I was like, that is perfect. So let me go in and show you the framing. I loved it. I paid more for it, but this is a special piece. I did dedicate it to my dad. Miss you, Dad. I put his initials and the year he died. So to me, that was worth it to splurge for the frame, and it being the last frame that Stitch and Frame framed for me. So anyhow, those are my two that I was able to get down there and get framed. We have to hang them on the wall, so hopefully soon. All right, I'm gonna do my giveaway, and I have 3 giveaways. So I recently passed 7,000 subscribers, and I want to wholeheartedly thank every single one of you. That is amazing. I often forget that people watch these floss tubes, even though I watch Flosstube, and I watch a lot of people's floss tubes because I feel like it's weird if I did Flosstube, but then I don't watch anybody else's Flosstube. That would be strange, I think. So I never would have imagined 7,000. And I don't like to say, oh, I have 7,000 subscribers, because it's just a number where I feel like you guys are friends. So truly thank you for joining me. If you don't subscribe, like and subscribe, and welcome friends. So thank you so much for that. So today I wanted to do a special giveaway for the 7,000 subscribers as a thank you. Now I have 2 charts here. I don't have the third one. I thought I ordered it when I ordered this, and I did not. So you would need to get the original chart, but there's 2 that go together. So I am giving away the Wreath Swap 1 and 2, Home is Where the Wreath Is, from Stitching with the Housewives. So it is it's these 6 charts for this seasonally. I'm sure you guys have seen this. And then it's these 6 charts, which is not a good photo on the front cover. It doesn't show, or 5 charts. I'm sorry, 5. Is that 6 on the other one? Yes, it's 6 on the other one, 5 on one. No, wait a minute. No, there's 6 because you count this one too. Okay, sorry. But so I have the wreath. If you wanted to stitch this, you would also need to get the original pattern to get the H, the M, and the E to stitch. And then there's a generic wreath holder here that you can do as well in that pattern. I only have the add-ons, which makes the seasonal wreaths. Okay, so this is number 1. If you would like to get this giveaway, put the number 1. Don't spell it out, just number 1 in your comment somewhere. Okay, so that's my first giveaway, number 1. My second giveaway is going to be the Silver Creek Samplers Through the Storms. You put number 2. If you'd like to stitch number 2, put number 2. And then number 3 will be Heartstring, Heartstring Samplery Sunday Stitch Amazing Grace. I will pass that on as well. And you're going to put number 3. So there's my 3 giveaways. Thank you so much. And hopefully passing the stash, somebody else will enjoy those charts just as much as I did. All right, I have some previous finishes that I wanted to show you from last year. These were stitched, it is Prairie Schooler. I'm trying to think of the name of the chart. I want to say it's Primitive America, but that might not be it. I don't know the name of the chart. Anyhow, these are my 2 finishes. I love these guys. Love, love, love them. So let me show you individually. They're great. I just think Prairie Schooler does no wrong, and I love them. And then I finished them both with the same backing material. And then there is Uncle Sam. I love him. So I do have my Patriotic up now. It'll stay up till the 4th of July, in which I will move more farm stuff out and then put my 4th of July up, which is why I pushed to do farm stuff, farm stitching during my summer stitching, so that I would have something after my Patriotic. Last year I didn't have anything, and I had to leave Patriotic up until I put fall out. So I kind of like the fact that I have something else to switch out for. So with that, here is some fall finishes that I stitched and finished for this season. Oh, I did not bring the card either. This is Prairie Schooler September, I actually think it is. I did not do the bottom words, and I just did the picture. This is stitched, I think it's either 18 or 20 count, but I think it's 18, and it's a picture of this plus linen. I'm not sure what color it was. It was a scrap. Super, super cute. I love the muted colors. I love just the farm scene itself, that barn, beautiful. So I finished this on an easel. Where did I get this easel? Hobby Lobby. I've had it for years. And it was distressed. I think it said something, but I just put it over it. I finished it with a solid fabric and then a check fabric underneath as well to kind of pull that out. And then I have a bow up on top. The bow is glued on. So this finish will always stay this way. So that is from Prairie Schooler. I think it's September is the pattern. Like I said, I just didn't do the words and the top portion. I just did the picture. Okay, the next one are from Stitching with the Housewives. Now, one of these, Farm Sweet Farm, I'll show that first, is a, well, let me show you all of them, and then I will show you, somebody put change in my dough bowl. Take that out. I'll show you all of them, and then I'll show you them individually. So these are 3 finishes, farm finishes that I have, that I finished together. They are from Stitching with the Housewives. Farm Sweet Farm is no. Oh, I can't remember which one's the free one. One of these is a free pattern that comes in another pattern. So I can't remember. I thought it was this one, but now I'm thinking it's Bless the Farm. I don't know. One of them's free that came in it, but they're super cute farm finishes. So let me show you these. I have showed you them finished before. Go back in my Flosstube. I have more details. This is showing the fully finished. So I fully finished them. These are stitched on 14 count Murky, and I used some gingham that I had in my stash. And this is my backing fabric for all of them. They're all finished the same way. This bandana fabric I thought was perfect. And then I stitched these on. You can kind of see, I stitched them on with big over exaggerated stitches, these pom-poms. So Stacy, if y'all don't watch Stacy, the 911 stitcher, we were talking about finishing, and she said, you know, the dingleberry trim. The dingleberry trim. So pom-pom trim will now be referred to as dingleberry trim. Thank you, Stacy. So this isn't quite the same because this was just a line of pom-poms. It didn't have that racking on it that you would put it. So I didn't have anything to tack it. So that was a way for me to tack it on there. Oop, there's a hair on it. Sorry. So that's my first finish for farm. I just picked up colors and used them. I changed the cow to black, just for fun. Stitching with the Housewives patterns are very, very forgiving. As far as if you don't have a color, you can easily substitute, or if you want to change up the colors, they're very easy to just change up. I am kind of obsessed with seeing Stitching with the Housewives patterns stitched on different fabrics. They look great on black. They're fantastic. I like stitching on black, and I like the way that it looks, but when I'm done with like stitching one black piece, I want to stitch on something else. I don't want to stitch on another black fabric right away. So I love seeing the Stitching with the Housewives patterns stitched on different fabric. They're fantastic. So I enjoy looking online and seeing people. This is Farm Fresh Eggs. and I did change this one up as well. Same trim, same finishing fabric, my label, and for those that are asking, my label is from Ever Emblem on Etsy. I do not get paid for that. I just really like their labels. So they are on Etsy. I always get somebody that asks. That's where I get them. I get iron on. I do the least iron on, the 15-second or the 3-second. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. I get the lower one because I'm not washing these pieces, so they're not, I've never had an issue. You can get a more durable iron on, but I just don't see it necessary. And this is the last one. Same backing fabric. So I really enjoyed those. Those are on my table right now in my dough bowl. Let me slide those back and get them out of the way. Okay. So what have I been stitching on? So let me show you my first fully finished that I did. I have two fully stitched, not fully finished. So I am working on the hometown holiday, or home is where the wreath is. Why do I want to say hometown? This is the only pattern I'm not giving away in the giveaway. So you would need this pattern. So I have all three patterns for myself. And I have stitched the first part of the letters. I wasn't going to stitch the letters, but then I decided I'm going to stitch the letters. So yeah, there is a cheat to it. If you don't want to use the letters, you can use lettering that you find at Hobby Lobby. I know 141 Designs on Etsy has letters. I ordered those. And you can use those letters instead. I decided to stitch them. I have an idea to use for those letters, so they're not gonna go to waste. This is my H. I know, not very exciting, but that's my H. I stitched it on 14 count Murky, and I used black. So that's my H. Since this is kind of out of my stitching realm of what I've been stitching, I'm kind of just filling in gaps. So like when I transition from one season to the other and I have a lull, or I don't think I can quite finish a piece that I would want to stitch for that season, I'm picking this up and stitching. So that might be a very long ongoing. I'm going to stitch the letters and then I will stitch the wreaths, and I'll just start the wreaths of whatever season I'm in when I get to them. So the next piece that I fully stitched is from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and this is Maple Lane. So this was a stitch along last year, and I didn't stitch it. I bought it, but I didn't stitch it at the time, but I knew I wanted to stitch it this year. I think by the time they released it, I had already stopped stitching fall. So I was like, that's fine. I want to stitch it next year. I'll stitch it next year. So I did. So I started this on April 27th and I finished it on May 14th. Now I also went traveling and I did not take this piece with me. I can stitch in the truck, but I have to stitch on Ada. I can't stitch on an even weave, so I don't take an even weave project with me. This is 28 count fabric flare tiny stone gingham. Did I write stone gingham? That seems weird, but is that what it says? I don't know. That's what I wrote. So this is my finish. I truly loved every stitch of this. So I started with the flower cart in the front, and he's selling his little flowers. I did change some of the people. I had certain people in mind when I stitched them, so I stitched them to kind of look like them. And I also added right here, it's not going to show up on camera well, you can see it better, it is my initials and 22. So it actually looks like a trolley number on the side of the trolley. So I kind of hid it in there. So I have the year that I stitched it, my initials. I love the little coffee and tea shop. the little puppy dog. It's just so cute. This is a fabulous stitch. I just enjoyed everything about this stitch. So cute. I enjoyed this fabric. I really like Fabric Flair's even weave. I love stitching on theirs. I actually need to order some more because I really, really love it. So that was my fully finished that I did. Fully stitched. I have been working on my Told in a Garden. So if you don't know, we, Vanna and I, and there's tons of people joining in. I think Stacy, the 911 Stitcher, is joining in with a Told in a Garden pattern she has. Katie Carney is jumping in. Who else do I know there's more. I know there's more. So the great thing about this Sal is you don't have to stitch any particular pattern. A Told in a Garden pattern, pick what your favorite one is and stitch it up. There's no end date. You can continually, my idea is I would like to continually stitch these patterns. So I hope to always have one going. That's what I'm trying. So I am stitching Farmer's Market, which this is a teeny tiny picture, but, and I started over here. I love this because it has the Farmer's Market, and then it has this barn in the background and it says auction in it, and the men are in the auction barn. And I love that because my husband goes to auctions a lot. So I am stitching this on 28 count Muddy Petal Lugana from Bestitch Me. So I will say I was very surprised from the picture to the actual stitching how vibrant it was. So that's as far as I got. I'm working on that first stand, and you can kind of see the lady, and then there's a guy selling and a little girl. It's coming along. I work on this. I have this open in my craft room, and so I go in there and stitch on it whenever I can. And just a couple stitches. There's no push, there's no rush, there's no, you have to get something done at a certain time. So it's really a great stitch along. If you would like to join us, use the hashtag #ToldInTheGardenSal. And then we can all see your progress and cheer you on and see all the different projects. And there are so many great Told in the Garden patterns. So, all right, what else have I been stitching on? This is also still considered a whip because it is a Sal from Frosted Pumpkin. I do have the cover sheet. So far, this is where we're at. We have a mermaid, 2 dolphins, some fish, a snorkeler, and a stingray. So this has been really great. It comes out once a month, and it takes me like a day, maybe a day and a half to stitch this up. I generally can get it, so far, I've gotten it done in that. And I really, really have enjoyed it. Now, I did reach a little bit of a bump in the road this time. It was an easy fix. So, let me show you my progress. I am stitching this on 14 count Gothic Picture This Plus. So I love the dark color. I love how everything pops. Now, I will say this little girl's hair was supposed to be black. I didn't think the black looked good or showed up in that portion of my fabric. Had she positioned down here, she would have showed up better with black hair. So I simply changed her hair. You can't see it on camera, but the goggle part of it, you do it with iridescent. So it looks really like she has her goggles on. I love it. I thought the black showed up on the fish okay because the white stitching was right beside it. So far, this is my progress. I love the fabric color. They are easy to change the coloring. Changing her hair color was super, super easy. And what, did I write it down? I didn't write down what I wrote. I probably just picked like a brown and went with it. So it's really easy to change it. If something on your fabric, like if you had a light fabric and maybe they had really blonde hair and it didn't look good, you could change it. That's an easy fix. So I did. I actually changed it to try to look like my niece. So that was my coloring inspiration, was my niece's hair. All right, so my next one that I worked on, and I only worked on this when we were on the trip, and I did not get super far with this, but I got it started. So I have the Fall on the Farm patterns. I have the newer one in my stash. I think I need to stick it in this bag. I started with the house. Now, I ran in trouble when I went to go kit this up. The fabric that I really, really wanted to use, that I thought looked the best that I had, because I have a lot of fabric, was 14 count raw linen. My idea was to do 3 of them and then make them a flat fold. The problem was I didn't have fabric that would have worked. I needed to do that like on an 18 count, maybe even a 20 count to make it small enough. And I just didn't have a color in that size fabric. So I thought, that's fine. I'm gonna do these individually. Probably as pillows, because that's what I do. But this is my start on this. I have the house mostly completed and then some of the other. It actually won't take me long to finish this, but I did that when I was in the truck. And actually when we were in Ohio, I didn't stitch much at all because I really was like enjoying looking around and seeing everything. So I didn't get a lot of fabric stitching done on that one, but I started it and I do want to finish it. So my goal this year has been to stitch more fall. I have tons and tons of Halloween because I love stitching Halloween. But I had even wrote a note in my phone, I needed to stitch autumn pieces, fall autumn pieces, so that I could leave them up after Halloween. Because after I take my Halloween stuff down, I have a little bit of Thanksgiving, but I don't have tons of Thanksgiving. So the idea was to do more just fall pieces. Let me grab a drink, hold on. I'm so sorry. Everybody's gunky with allergies, so sorry. So I wanted to do more fall that I could have out longer. So I had a couple pieces in mind. Maple Lane was one that I was going to do. Fall on the Farm. The next one was Scarecrow Jack by Finally a Farm Girl. Let me show you the pattern. He is so cute. I love the chickens. I love the little chicken coop. This screams fall to me. I love, love, love this. So my goal was to stitch this, stitch these pieces for just fall. So that's what I've been doing. I have started this pattern and I have chosen my own floss. Now, I will share any of my floss choices as we go on, if I know that they work out. So once I finish, I will share the floss, but I'm just picking from stash. I'm using a lot of color and cotton because I love their floss, and so it's an easy switch. So I am stitching on this, it's called 14 count loom spun natural, and that is my progress so far. I loved the color of the fabric. It has a little bit of variation in it. It reminds me of a light oatmeal, but not as dark. And I just really loved the coloring on it. So that's why I chose that. I was gonna do him smaller, but this was the perfect fabric, so why not use it, right? I have a lot of Aida in my stash, and I try to use what I have. So this is a great pattern, which I call a stash buster, that you can easily pick your own colors. This has been super easy. I did change, I stitched the little wood that he hangs on in a different color, and it was too close to this color here. So I ripped it back out and changed the color. So, but other than that, so far it's worked with just random colors that I've picked. When I pick my colors, sometimes I look at the color list, sometimes I don't. On this one, I don't. I've just been looking at the front cover and kind of using that. I will lay my colors out, and if there's a color that stands out to me, I know that that's, like, if my eye keeps going to that color, I know that that's a shade that's not right, and I'll sub that out and change it. So that's kind of how I do it. Okay, so that is all of my whips. That is all of my finishes. And now we have tons and tons and tons of stash. So some of this is because I ordered it. Some of it is, I went to Rock Hill. I picked up a couple things there. Okay, let me show you two patterns that are definitely on my list to do. This one is the next one I'm starting. This is Autumn Acres from Cherry Hill Stitchery. I love this. I love it. So I will be stitching this next. I'm going to start this next. Hopefully have it started by my next Flosstube. And you can find her on Etsy, I believe. Yes. Let me check. No, I don't know if she's still on Etsy. She used to be, but she has her own website, cherryhillstitchery.com. So really great pattern. I love the colors on this one. This is another one I'm going to use as Stash Buster. I'm going to pick from my stash. It'll be super easy to sub and use up some of those that I have. So this is next. I'm starting that next. And then the next one I have is from Finally Farm Girl, The Night Before Christmas. Chrissy is knocking it out of the park. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. I have a thing for Mr. and Mrs. Santa. I love Mrs. Claus. I love Santa. Look at them in the bed with their little caps on. Oh my goodness, this is adorable. This is adorable. Let me see how big this is. This is 200 by 140 high. Now, the great thing about this one is if you wanted to do just Mr. and Mrs. Claus, you could do just that. I love that. Think like little ornaments. Would they not be cute on your tree? Like, I love it as a whole, but oh my gosh, Mr. and Mrs. Claus just as a little ornament. I love that. I love that. So that pattern is going to get some use. I don't know how I'm going to stitch it quite yet. I love it all. When I stitch portions of a chart, unless it's a really big chart, I keep the chart. Unless it's one that I know I'm not going to stitch the rest of it. If I ended up stitching Mr. and Mrs. Claus as ornaments, like separate ornaments, or you could even do them together, I would keep this chart because I would want to stitch it as a whole one day, possibly. So I would keep this chart. If it's a chart that I maybe wouldn't stitch again, I would, well, those are PDFs, so I wouldn't give those away. But I, would be done with the chart. If I think I might stitch it as a whole piece, even though I've subbed it out, I'll keep it. I'll put it in the file. So the next one I want to show is Primrose Cottage Stitches Happy Birthday. So I'm so sorry. This is an awful picture. My printer was running out of ink, but I've had a couple people reach out to me and say they love my birthday stitching that I've done, the idea of doing a little dough bowl on the table with some birthday charts, and this is a great birthday chart. So the name of it is Happy Birthday. Super easy. Primrose Cottage on Etsy, a little birthday chart. This is a bad picture, so don't go buy this picture, but go check them out. This is a great one. That would be a great one for a dough bowl. Okay, there's a couple of things I wanted to reach out. Rissa has sent me some charts and some fabric, and they are fantastic. So some of these I have, and I'm going to be putting them away as super giveaway at future giveaways. Sent some Lizzie Kates, some I always say this wrong, JBW Designs. Is that not adorable? Little Homespun Elegance. She has Farmhouse Christmas in here. So she has a lot. So I will be, thank you so much. I will be giving these as future giveaways or saving any of the ones that I don't have and would like to stitch. So you will see those. Lisa has sent me a beautiful card. Oh my gosh, beautiful card. And she sent me two charts, which are super sweet for Thanksgiving stitching. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have been playing tag, so to speak, with giveaways. She wins a giveaway and she's like, I already have that chart. I didn't mean to enter that giveaway. I just had it, I had the number in my comment, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, is there a chart that you would like? I finally found something that I could send her. So thank you so much for that. And then I also got a thank you card, super sweet, with some stamps in it for giveaways. That was super, super sweet. Thank you, Jill. Is it Jill? No, I don't think it's Jill. That doesn't sound right. Okay, I have my glasses on. These are distance glasses, so I can't read it really good. And I have another one. Patty sent me this chart, super cute card. And she asked me if I would like this kit. She said she had it in her stash, and she said she wasn't gonna stitch it. And I think this is so pretty for farm stitching. So I'm done with farm stitching this year, but this is going into my pile for next year. I actually don't think it's that big. So, I mean, it's a good size. I think it's so pretty. So thank you so much for passing that on. I actually really, really like that chart. Okay. I also got something else from somebody else who knows who she is that sent some floss and some fabric. I don't want to mention her name because I didn't get permission to mention her name, but thank you so much. So, okay. When I went to Rock Hill, there was not much left. So this is scavenger leftovers, but they're perfect. So I got a little stand. These were stands that they used in their shop. I've got an easel. And then I got 2 of these plastic easels. They're not super exciting, but they are, because they will hold your finishes. So they are super exciting. It doesn't look exciting, but it is to me. I'm so happy that I'm doing a floss tube and I can put this stuff away now. I got a couple more threads that they had. They didn't have much left, but I got a couple more, just random threads. This one is gorgeous. I had never seen this color before. It is fresh raspberries from Belsois. It is the prettiest pink. I don't think it's showing up super great, but it is like a suit. No, it's not showing up good at all. If you need a hot pink, fresh raspberries is very pretty. So I got some random floss that they had left. I will put those in my stash. Okay, they had some samples in the store that they were selling. So I was looking through and I found All Is Calm, All Is Bright. I don't know what it's a Mill Hill. This is fully beaded, fully finished in the Mill Hill frame. It's beautiful. I love church stuff, so this was very, very pretty. And I think it was $25, which I'm not sure you can buy the kit in the frame for $25. So that was a great, great deal for me. And it's all beaded. So if you guys ever wanted to try a Mill Hill kit, just so you know, you don't have to bead Mill Hill. You can use the floss color that they stitch underneath the bead and just do regular stitching if you want to. I have done some fall ones that way. I've also done some of the beading, but if you don't want to, you don't have to do the beading. So don't be scared of it. The next one, this is a Blackbird Designs. Is it Long Winding Road? I'm not sure. This was a little finished. Now it is fully finished into this circle. It was in something, I think, at one time. They took it out. It needs a little work on the finish, but it's already pulled. It's already done. So that's an easy fix for me. So I bought that. It's beautiful, beautiful. It's gonna take me a little bit to figure out how I'm gonna fully finish it, but the hardest part is done. Making the circle, that's the hardest part. Okay, the next one that I got, this needs a little, I saw this frame. I loved the frame. I'm not a super fan of what's in it, but I think taking it out of the frame, using the frame for something else, and finishing the piece into a pillow will be great. I think it's a Hubble design or something like that. But is this not the cutest frame? I love this. I see something Halloween in here. Or even Easter, I don't know. So my goal is to take this apart. I will save the stitches because it's a cute little one, but I think I can do something really great in that frame. Okay, I'm getting down in my pile. Okay, now this is random things that either I bought at the store or I came in with shipping, stash unloading site on Facebook. They're both great. This is a Dimensions Gold Kit Morning Lake. And I love the swampy feel to this. So I loved that. Got that. This came in Bestitch Me. This is the Jewel Tones Silk Club. Now, those colors are phenomenal. They are just phenomenal. So I like the boldness. I always split these up and I store my floss by colors and by manufacturer. But so often I use Bestitch Me Silks in sub of something else in a pattern. She has some great unusual colors. Her fabric of the month, I changed to 22 count and it's Rainy Day. I recently changed my color in cotton to 28 count Lugana. So the great thing is if you get a club like that, at least with those two, they easily change your size of fabric. So I like that. My Nutcracker, the next one in the Nutcracker series came in. So I have that. This is something I got off a stash unloading. It is Told in a Garden. What is the name of this? Under the Orchard. I did not have this one. Super cute. So I got that one on stash unloading. I got 2 magazines on stash unloading and they are Halloween issues 2006 and 2007. I'd never had these and there's some great patterns in here. Great patterns. I really want to do a lot of these ornaments because these are the ornaments issue. There's some great stuff in here. I'm trying to think, what was it that got me? I didn't mark my favorite one. There is a Prairie Schooler up here. There's a Country Cottage Needleworks. Looks very similar, doesn't it? Maybe to Glitter Village, maybe? I don't know. So cute. So there's a lot of good stuff in those. This was one I picked up at the L&S, Betsy's Autumn Bird and Acorn from Plum Street. I'd never had this one. Super cute. This is Little House Needleworks Giuseppo's. I'm really bad at that. But I didn't have that. Super cute. I also got this from Heart and Hand. I liked the berries. It's imprints, berries and blooms, but I like those strawberries. Oops. I think they're really pretty. My club came in from Pine Mountain Lane. Now, Pine Mountain Lane is hitting it out of the park with these. Hilltop Cross Stitch Club. Now, I got in the club. I got a note. There's Leo. I got a note, they're no longer doing the club as far as I know, but you could contact them just to make sure because they ran out of the stand. But you could still get the chart. And I feel like you could find a stand at Hobby Lobby very easily. Or 141 Designs on Etsy, she has some stands. They would be super cute. So, and it comes with the finishing fabric and everything. These are great. I love this. A little lemonade stand. How sweet is that? These I cannot wait to stitch next year because they're coming in a little behind. The reason why they're coming in behind is not them, it's me. I start stitching Christmas in July, which means I kind of adjust my schedule so that after July, I continually stitch cross stitch Christmas. So that's why like I don't go back and stitch June because I've already moved on from it, but it goes in my pile. It goes in my basket for next year. And I'm super excited to stitch it. They're Pine, let me get the name exactly right. It is Pine Mountain Designs. They are knocking it out of the park. She also sent a chart. So cute. Let me get it. It is June typography. How cute is that? Little barbecue picnic. I just love this. And this is not big. So this is an easy, quick little stitch. I think Pine Mountain is doing great designing. Their stuff is some of my favorite. I picked up Blackberry Jam from Told in the Garden on Stash Unloading. Now, this has been collecting. I didn't get all of this at the same time. This is Thistle House from Plum Street Samplers. I feel like I ordered this from somebody, but I could be wrong. I got my 12 Days of Christmas Stocking Ornament Club from Annie B's Folk Art. That's number 5. And I got Bumblebee In from Stitching with the Housewives. So cute. Okay, now this one was inspired. I think I got this off of 123 Stitch. And this one is called the Wise Owl. It's a Dimensions kit. This one was stitched in my LNS, and I can't even begin to tell you how gorgeous this is stitched up. It is phenomenal. Beautiful. I was a little disappointed that the model wasn't for sale because I totally would have bought it. It was somebody's stitching that they had in the store, but this is gorgeous. I had to buy it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy it before I forget that I loved it, and I'm going to go ahead and get it. So this is inspired from Helen D. Leggy Leprechaun. I got a copy. So part of the fun part of watching Flosstubers is seeing maybe some of these older charts, but they're not available, like not readily available, I should say. I was able to find this on Stash Unloading, and I was super excited. Helen finished him into a stand-up. Oh my God, he's so cute. So that is going to be on the list for next year. Love him. Love him. I also got a Prairie Year on Stash Unloading. I did not have this one, I don't believe. Super cute. This came from an order, I believe. Return to the Farm from Thistles. Really cute. Okay, this was inspired. Now, I did order this off of 123 Stitch. Stacy, the 911 Stitcher, has this as a finish. She showed it a couple times. It is absolutely beautiful. It was finished into a stand-up. I love it. Primitive Hair, the White Witch. She is so fantastic. It's a lot of white when you stitch her, but she is so pretty. I don't know if I will get to her this year or not. I want to, but I don't know if I'll get to her or not. I have told myself that I need to stitch fall. So I'm stitching fall patterns, and then I'm rewarding myself with a Halloween finish. So I'm doing 3 fall finishes, and then I have a chart that I bought last year that I'm dying to do. It is from The Little Stitcher, and it's Jack the Ripper. I love the chart, wanted to stitch it. It was too late last year by the time I found it or saw it, and I was like, next year I want to stitch that. So once I start and finish Autumn Acres, I'm going to reward myself with Jack the Ripper. So that'll give me 3 fall finishes, and I can reward myself with 1 Halloween. Now I'm only stitching fall until the end of June. So I have to see how much I get done. Sometimes I have great ideas that I really want to get something done, and I run out of time. And I have to say, okay, back in the basket it goes for next year. And that may happen. We'll see. We'll see what I can get done. I got this Lizzie Kate Ghouls Night Out. I did not have this. This was on Stash Unloading. These are some magazines, once again, from Stash Unload. Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I told you I have a thing for Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and they're skating. How cute is that? This is Patriotic Shoulder Bag, but what a great eagle. So I thought that that would be just a great, I wouldn't finish it into a bag, but how cute would that be? I love this one. Well, I don't know where the chart is now that maybe I've got it mixed up with something. That's weird. I think I'm not going to show that one because I don't think they sent me the right page. I'm going to have to contact them. I don't have that page. All right, we'll go deal with that. And then I got this Christmas one. Okay. For Mother's Day, I got a Mother's Day basket, and there was 2 pieces of fabric in there, which I will totally use. This is the latest Fall on the Farm release. I need to stick that in my Fall on the Farm bag. And I also got my Home Sweet Home Pleasant View Manor. It's the next in the series. And I've been getting this from Annie B's. Or Crazy Annie, I think is the name of the site. All right, my last stash. Now, I had no idea this was coming. When I got the shipping notice, I was like, oh, I need to go see what I ordered because I ordered this last June. I'm not even kidding. But I should feel bad about this, and I don't. This needs to be my screenshot. 16 count Murky. You can't find it anywhere. Nobody carries 16. They carry 14, they carry 28, they carry 32, they carry counts of linen, but they don't carry 16 count Murky very often. I ordered, I think there's 3 yards of 16 count. I also ordered 18 count. Nobody carries 18 count Murky that I've seen. I ordered 4 yards. I don't even feel bad about it. Not even an ounce. I told my husband, I was like, my fabric came and I didn't remember what I ordered, and I ordered 4 yards and I have 0 guilt. And he was like, okay, can you move it off the table so I don't get it dirty? It's like, okay. Yes, I am in Murky heaven. So I had some 18 count Murky. I don't think I have any 16 count Murky at this time. I might have at one time, but I don't now. The 18 count Murky that I have is actually in a Christmas bag to do some patterns. And I've kind of earmarked that whole yard for those patterns because there's a lot of them. So I really wanted some 18 count Murky. I have to decide if I want to stitch my ornaments, my Prairie Schooler Santas, on 18 count. I kind of want to make them a little smaller, but then I wonder, will it look weird if, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I have plenty on my tree. Yeah, I'm so excited to have the 18 count Murky. So excited. I will say, I ordered that last June. So if you order directly from Picture This Plus, just know it's going to be a year before you get your fabric. I know they have on their website that they are super behind. I don't know why they're that far behind. I mean, I know COVID, they slowed down, but they were slow before COVID. So I don't really know whether that's just because they send so much to so many stores. I don't know. Just know if you order directly from them, you are going to wait. If you find it in stock somewhere, that's the way to order it. That's the way I order 95% of the time, any of my Picture This Plus fabric. But I loved Picture This Plus years and years and years ago, and I have a ton of it. It's mostly Aida. I'm not a huge fan of stitching on their linen. I think their linen is fuzzy, but that's just me. I know people who love, I think Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch loves their 36 count linen. For me, it's not my favorite linen to do, but I like their Lugana. I love their Aida. Their Aida is my favorite Aida with a strong competition from Fiber on the Whim. Those are my 2 favorite Aidas. They're super soft. Now, if you stitch in hand, Picture This Plus Aida may not be for you. It is super, super soft. Just to prove my point. This is Aida. Oh, that's the wrong bag. Hold on. This is 14 count murky Picture This Plus. Do you see how soft it is? This is super, super soft. Super soft. So you may not like stitching on Picture This Plus soft if you stitch in hand. I stitch in hoop. I know people who stitch in hand and they still stitch it. Their Aida is soft. I love a soft Aida. That's just me. I love finishing a soft Aida. Stitching on it doesn't really matter because I stick it in a hoop, but finishing it is so nice. If you have to turn it inside out, it's so easy. Sometimes I get that stiff Aida and I'm like, oi, this is gonna be hard. So anyhow, my table is a disaster, but that is all that I have. So right now, as you know, I'm stitching fall. I will continue to stitch fall into June. I'm going to reward myself after I start one more fall piece. And I'm going to start my Halloween piece that I really want. Then I'm gonna go back and do some more fall. And then I might be able to get to the White Witch from Primitive Hair. I don't know, we'll see. But I have lots to get to stitch. I have a huge basket of fall stuff that I love and adore and I want to stitch it. I just ran out of time. So, but I'm excited to start stitching Christmas in July and that'll be fun too. But right now I'm just enjoying all of my fall stitching. Even though it's starting to heat up in North Carolina, I'm stitching the fall. So enjoying that. I don't think there's anything else that I had. I think everything, yeah, I think I'm good. I did have some questions on my stands that I posted online. I posted a picture. I had 2 Pitoki stands come in. I literally ordered a new Pitoki stand because I was so scared that my Pitoki stand might break. Not because it's not good quality, but I use it every single day. I have a Dubco stand. I have 2 Dubco stands, and then now I have 3 Pitoki stands. I love both of them. The Dubco is a better desk stand. So I do take that to my office. If I'm running the window, I will put it on the desk. That's a great desk stand. The Pitoki stand is great for in my lab. I put a pillow underneath me and put the stand on top of it, and that raises it up to me enough. And I really like stitching. I stitch 2-handed, so that's a great way. So I ordered 2 more. I probably could have only ordered 1, but I figured, But the Pitoki has a long wait time as well. So know that when you order, you don't pay for it until they've almost finished your order and are ready to ship. So even though I ordered it many moons ago, I did not pay for it until right before it shipped. Now shipping, I think I got a shipping notice in February and my order came the day before I posted that picture. So April, May, I'm not sure. I think it was in April, the end of April. So shipping took a while. It's coming from overseas, and it's coming from an area that's affected right now by the stuff going on in the Ukraine. There's been some debate. Some people say that they ship out of Ukraine, but they're in the Czech Republic. I am unaware exactly where they're at. I obviously don't know their shipping, what they do and everything, but it does take some time. Just know that if you place an order, you're not required to pay for it until it gets closer, until they start processing your order. Then they send you a PayPal request and you pay for it. So I've never had any problems with them, but it is a longer lead time to get your stand. I personally think they are both great stands. For me, I use the Pitoki stand every single day. It's lightweight on the pillow. The Dubco is a fantastic desk stand. It's a little weightier, so it doesn't go great on my pillow because of the balance of it, where the Pitoki is very light, and so it does sit on the pillow really well. But both great, great, great stands. I am not sure how hard it is to order a Dubco because I haven't ordered one lately, but I have the desk stand and I have you could change out the adapters. So like you could put multiple heads on it to do different things, whether it's a hoop, Q-snap, whether it's just the arms so it can hold anything. I have all of the accessories for that desk stand. So that's a great stand if you want multiple ways to be able to use the stand. That's fantastic. I use my Pitoki with a hoop and I love it. So anyhow, I hope that answers some questions. If you had specifically some questions, I have showed the stands in a previous Flosstube. You'll have to go back and see. I'll try to look and see if I can note what Flosstube it is down below, where I show the Dubco and the Patoki stand side by side. But I really think, just depending upon how you stitch, they're both great stands. They're both really, really well-made stands. I don't think you could go wrong with either one of them. All right, that's all I have. I have rambled over an hour. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care and have fun stitching.